Hello, everyone, and welcome to Van Chicagoland Stories, the podcast, episode 22. I'm your host, Pete Costanis, and this program is brought to you by Just Pants. And here is a commercial from 1978.
Every day is Saturday night when you're looking right. Just pants. Just pants. We know you'll be satisfied when you step inside. Just pants. Just pants. Clothes for you in every range. Come in for a change. Just pants. Just pants.
Okay, and we are back. I hope you enjoyed that commercial from Just Pants. What a memory about Just Pants. That store was all over the Chicagoland area. I remember the first place of Just Pants was at Fort City Shopping Center on the southwest side, where where my old neighborhood was. It was located downstairs at Peacock Alley, and a person from my classic Fort City group provided the photo, and I forgot who did that, but it was beautiful, and I posted that, and everyone remembered the store very well. And so you bought all kinds of jeans, excuse me, and also there were brands like Levi's, Jordache, Bonjour, Sassoon, also Lee, and the other one's Wrangler. So I bought Levi's and Wrangler and Lee, and there were other locations in Chicago. I think there was one on Ohio Street, and probably in all the malls. And they were all over Chicago. Started about in the late 70s, and then the last store closed in 1998. And it was that's a shame, but it was a big hit during the disco era. If you can find the commercial I just played, you can find it on YouTube, and just enter it in the search engine, you could find it. Okay, I'll talk about a few things. Let's see. The next thing I will talk about is an actor who passed away this week. It was Charles Grodin, and he was a very famous actor, also comedian, author, and television talk show host. Excuse me. And he was in a lot of movies, a lot of movies, and what a wonderful man he was. And I could read his credits. He did a lot of television. No, excuse me. Yeah, he started in films earlier, and then like a few bit parts, and then he started on TV. Probably in the late 50s. He was very young, and let's see. He played in a lot of westerns in the 60s. And then the first time I didn't notice this, one of his was I surprised that he was in the movie Rosemary's Baby. And I watched Rosemary's Baby one time on the Channel 2, the late movie on WBBM Channel 2. And I noticed a man there, and he looked very familiar, and it was Charles Grodin, and he played a doctor. He played an obstetrician. I think he was an obstetrician. I haven't seen the movie in a long time. That movie still scares me. It's not gory, but it's suspenseful, and it's terrifying to watch, especially at the end. And let's see. So the other movies, the one movie that I think its breakthrough role was The Heartbreak Kid with Sybil Shepherd. And then he starred in King Kong, Heaven Can Wait. He was in Sunburn with Farrah Fawcett. I've never seen that movie. That came out in 79. That seemed interesting. And another funny movie was Seems Like Old Times with Goldie Hawn. and Chevy Chase, and I see it once a long time ago, and it was at Fort City Theater. I saw it, and I loved the movie. A lot of people think it was kind of corny and not exciting, but I liked it, and I did. I remember now. I did see it a second time, and it was funnier than the first time. I liked it, and he also played in The Great Muppet Caper, The Woman in Red, a lot of movies, and one movie that he was very famous in. Well, actually, two was Midnight Run with Robert De Niro. I've seen parts of it. I like to see it again. I like Robert De Niro, but I'm not a huge fan of him. But he is a good actor too. But I have an open mind, so I'll watch it again. And not again, but I'll watch the movie in full length. And the other movie I want to mention, which was very popular, was Beethoven, which I liked. It was funny because the dog is so cute, and he was so mischievous, and he just loses his cool, and very short tempered, and he was hilarious. I loved that movie. And then he appeared with Johnny Carson and David Letterman, and his interviews were hilarious. And he always with Johnny Carson, he always argued with him or just get his goat. And I used to watch Charles Grodin on David Letterman during the 80s when I was at DeVry Institute, when I went to college. And then when I was studying or couldn't sleep, I'd turn on the TV in my room and I watched David Letterman, and Charles Grodin was there, and he was a delight. He really was. And it's a shame he passed away. And he was 86 years old. And his movie and TV credits will live on forever. Okay, the next thing I want to talk about was a menu I posted on my Fan of Chicagoland Facebook page. It was a restaurant called the Hasty Tasty Restaurant. A lot of people don't remember it. It was very obscure, but from the comments I got from my post, they do remember it. And the place had two locations. One was at the get it right here, was at the Plaza Hotel, and it was located at North Avenue and Clark Street. And it was in the dining room, located in the dining room, coffee shop, and it was the Hasty Tasty Restaurant. The other location was in Oak Park, and that was located at, I'll get the address, 130 North Marion. I don't have pictures of the restaurant. I wish I did. That would have been very cool. But I have a menu up right here, and it had like the usual diner menu, which we used to see in the 50s and 60s and the 70s. For example, olive burger, just like at Peter Pan, and they also had the Hasty Tasty burger, and so they also had hot dogs, barbecue beef. They had pies. Oh, wonderful pies, cakes, and of course, and they had something called Boston sodas. I guess it's ice cream sodas. I guess, and I guess that's what it's called. I'm not sure. Someone could tell me that. And then they also have a list of the Hasty Tasty sandwiches. It's kind of funny. And so I wish I went to this place. It sounded wonderful. Just like the diners today and restaurants, they're still around. I still go to them, but they're not as prominent. I guess because people are health conscious. But if you go to a healthy store. Excuse me, not a healthy store, like a healthy restaurant, they served organic and soy, and if you're on a keto diet, that's nice. It's wonderful for your health, but you starve yourself, and most of the food's not tasty. So you do what you can. I do my best to cut down as well. Okay. The next thing I want to talk about is a TV show that a lot of people have remembered when they were growing up. And it was called The Magic Door. And right now I will play a little clip that is the intro of the show, and I hope you enjoy it. So here we go.
Ah, room, zoom, ah, room, zoom, gilly, 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 ah, sa, sa.
Come through the magic door with me. Just say these words and wondrous things we'll see.
Follow the king,
Here I
queen.
come.
Well, I'm glad you liked that introduction. I remember watching the show on Sunday mornings, and it was on, let's see, every Sunday morning at 9 a.m. on Channel 2 WBBM TV. Here's a little history of the show. It was a Jewish educational television series, which I had no idea it was, because when you're a kid, I didn't notice it was Jewish. I thought it was just an ordinary kid show with animation and puppets, and it was fun to watch. But then I had to go to church, of course, like everyone else on Sunday, and I just caught a glimpse of it, and maybe 5 minutes of it. I never watched the entire show. I never had a chance to. I wish I did. Luckily on YouTube there is a full episode, and you can find it there. And the Magic Door had two theme songs, and the first one was a Room Zoom Zoom, and and that was based on a children's song, a Ram Sam Sam, and the second one was set to a melody from Beethoven's Pastoral Symphony Number 6. That's interesting. So it's funny. So the Room Zoom Zoom theme song went like this: ah, Room Zoom Zoom Zoom, ah, Room Zoom Zoom, gilly 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 gilly, ah sa sa. Come through the magic door with me. Just say these words, and wondrous things we'll see. I like that. I love that song, and you can't get it out of your head, just like most theme songs like that. There was a follow-up series. It was called The Beyond the Magic Door, which I wasn't familiar with that, and that was sort of a sequel. And interesting thing about the second one, the voice of Homer Simpson, the actor was Dan Castellaneta, and he was on the show, which I never knew. And there's an interview of him on YouTube, and you can catch it, and he would explain. And I don't know how long that lasted. So not very long. Not very long. So the show started in January 1st, 1962, and ended on January 1st, 1982. It's 20 years exactly. And the characters of the show, I will tell you right now, is let's see. So the characters I have. So we have a person who produced the show. Her name was Tammy Gilbert, and she was a very talented lady. And the goal of the show is was to teach without preaching. So it was focused on Jewish culture. I find very fascinating about Jewish culture. Later on in life, I read about it, and I met people, and they tell me about their culture, their customs, where they go to temple, the foods they eat, and the holidays they celebrate, like, for example, Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur. And let's see. So it was produced by the Chicago Board of Rabbis. That might have been interesting. That's interesting. So you have them, discuss like that. It was set in a town called Toraville. And the main characters of the show included a person named Tiny Tov, and he appeared like an elf, and his cousin was Tina Tova, and they lived in a house made out of acorn, and the entrance to the house was the magic door, and before they would sing, they would enter his house and sing "Room Zoom Zoom Zoom," which that was the fun part. And then there were puppet characters in the show. I'll read them off to you. There was Booby Beaver, Icky Witch, Rabbi and Mrs. Mora, Dee Dee, Max the Mailbox, Rumpelmeyer Dragon, Bunny Rabbit, Buddy, Worthington Warlock, Scrunch, and also human characters that appear. And according to all the characters were Jewish except Reverend Raymond from a town called Chapeltown. So the plot of the show, Tiny Tuff would travel back in biblical times, riding his magic feather. I never seen that. I'd love to see that. And he would say like an incantation. He would say, "Aleph Bet, gimme hey, magic feather, move away." Oh, that would be fun. And also, there would be a Hebrew word for the day, and they would sounded like Sesame Street. They would do like they do the number, do a letter of the show or a number, and they would explain they would have a lesson. They would explain discussing Jewish traditions, and then episode they would do when they do the Hebrew lesson. They step through the alphabet. That would be the Hebrew alphabet, which is nice, The character of Tiny Tuff, it was created by Irv Kaplan, and then and the person who played Tina Tova, the actress was Fran Moss. I think her maiden name was Udisky. So yeah, probably Fran Udisky. So there were 3 Tiny Tuffs. So and then there was the second one. He was an actor. His name was Jerry Loeb. I'm sorry, he was the first one. So yeah, so he was the first one. The first actor, it was Jerry Loeb. Second one was Charles Gerber. And the third one was played by Rabbi Joe Black. So there were 3 of them. I don't know if kids noticed that. So, so when I posted the screenshots of the show, and a long time ago, I posted a certificate. I found a certificate that you became a citizen of the Toraville. And let's see. Oh, there was one more character. Her name was Granny Groovy. And some of the locations in Toraville was the Sailaway Sea, Holiday Hill, the Friendly Forest, Dig and Tell, and also the Toraville Town Square, which was great. And they had the pledge on the certificate. And it says, "As a citizen of Toraville, I promise to be considerate of everyone, to be helpful at all times, and to respect and carry out the laws of God's Torah and Bible, my country and my community." Oh, it's a beautiful saying, and it rings true. So that was a fascinating show. It's a shame, we don't have children's shows like that. Like, for example, we don't have Bozo Circus, Garfield Goose, can't think of what else? Ray Rayner, and also BJ and the Dirty Dragon. We missed those local kid shows today. Now we're gonna have news. I mean, kids don't want to watch the news. They're bored with that. So, but TV has changed. Okay, so that'll be all for today. For episode 22. I'm glad you joined me, and this is Fan Chicagoland Stories, the podcast, and hopefully I will do another episode, probably maybe tomorrow, maybe Sunday. We'll see. So this is Pete Costanis, your host, and bye-bye now from me. And now take it away, Ray Rayner.
We have to go. Bye, bye, bye.